Have you ever dreamt of living in your own house and not having to pay for it? Well, you can make that dream a reality through the magic of house hacking. My name is Emmett Dempsey. I'm a mortgage broker and owner of Treasure Coast Mortgage out here in Florida and help families buy homes. If you would just go ahead and leave a like in this video, lets YouTube know that videos like this are good for viewers like you, I'd really appreciate that. So with that out of the way, let's move on. So what is house hacking? Essentially, it's using your own home, renting out your own home to generate revenue to offset some of the expenses or sometimes exceed them. And if you exceed your expenses, you effectively live for free. So if you structure it correctly, you can effectively have your own unit or house paid for just by offsetting the debt. You're also building equity in your property. You have some different tax advantages that you can write off using rental property. So house hacking has some really great benefits. And we're going to talk about the different methods about how to do that in this video. So what are some common house hacking strategies that you can implement in order to start living in your house for free? There's essentially four. The first one is a classic multifamily approach, where effectively you buy a fourplex, you live in one unit, you rent out the other three sides, or a triplex, duplex, whatnot. And if you're in an area with a lot of multifamily, this can work very well for you because it has very attractive financing, which we're going to talk about in a minute. The next is renting out your rooms. So you can buy a 4-bedroom house, you rent out the rest of the rooms, and you charge them either a weekly or a monthly rent. So you can rent out your spare rooms and get rental income from that. Because I know before I was married, I definitely rented a room. It was a great opportunity. It's much cheaper than renting an entire unit. So it definitely works out well for everybody. The next are short-term rentals. So essentially, Airbnb, VRBO. It's kind of like renting out rooms as well, renting out your whole house when you're not there. There's several ways that you can do it. If you're a snowbird, if you're in New York, you rent out your Florida house for short-term rental, especially if it's in a great location to buy for short-term rentals. The next is a live-in flip, where effectively you buy a fixer-upper, you live in it, fix it, and flip it, and you can do that as well. So what kind of financing is available for house hacking? Effectively, FHA and VA loans. I'm a veteran. I've got a VA loan, and you can use your VA loan for nothing down, live in one, rent out the other three for your multifamily, or just buying a regular house and renting out rooms. You can just use your regular FHA or VA. For FHA, it's 3.5% down, VA 0% down. And you can use those very low down payment financing because you're buying as an owner, because you are living in the property, versus traditional investment property financing is like usually 25% down and then higher rates, etc. So if you're buying a pure investment property to rent out, that's what you'd have to pay. FHA and VA do have a credit requirement, generally over 640, maybe a little bit higher since you're buying multifamily. But it's you don't need a ton of good credit, but having good credit, it definitely helps to get an approval when you're buying a multifamily property using house hacking. Okay, so how do you find these house hacks? Essentially, you can find a good realtor in your area. I have several that I can refer you to. You have to be careful if you intend to rent out rooms through short-term rentals, because certain municipalities have rules against that. So you have to be very careful about that. But just really check your local laws, local zoning to make sure what the rules are for that. And you can do that. Of course, you're buying as an owner, so you want to find homes that have local amenities in a good school district and in a decent area, so you can attract tenants that want to live there. And you also have to evaluate it as a renter too. Yes, you're buying this property as an owner-occupied residence, but is it going to generate enough revenue in order to offset it? So if you're buying a fourplex, the fourplex has a lot of expenses. It's not just doesn't run itself. You have expenses as a landlord, so you have to run the numbers and see if the rents are going to offset the expenses and then also offset yours in order for it to make sense. So what are some tips for successful house hacking? Number one is vet your tenants. There are some cool websites online. I think through the credit bureaus, they have those. You can probably just go on there and Google tenant screening, find one that you like that's inexpensive. There's probably some free ones, but effectively just basic stuff like income history, credit check, a history of paying rent. So kind of use your own due diligence. Of course, it's not going to be perfect because that's why they're renting in the first place, but they have to be generally acceptable. Also, make sure you understand your state's local laws. Okay, so every state has different landlord-tenant laws. You may make sure you understand them. Make sure you have a very good lease, especially if you're going to do an Airbnb. Make sure there's no laws precluding short-term rentals. Maintain a good landlord-tenant relationship because you are effectively collecting rent. Make sure that they have everything they need. Make sure the property is in good condition so they love living there and they love paying rent.
It's a win-win.
So yes, you are house hacking and getting money and offsetting your expenses, but create a nice, safe place for that particular renter. That's kind of your responsibility as a landlord. Also set aside money, for vacancies, because
in an ideal world,
all those things are rented, but people change, people buy homes through us, and they move out. You have to plan for those vacancies, and if they all hit at once, and then you have that property sitting, that mortgage payment's still coming. Okay, so you have to plan for those contingencies. At this point in the video, you're probably wondering about other ways that you can buy investment property. So YouTube wants you to watch this video right here.